How can we get men to be more vulnerable? Go ahead, Doc. Tell us.
That's a hard question because there's a lot of pride involved here, and it's really it's difficult. On the other hand, I think that if things are to change for those men, it's really going to change because their partners want it to change for them. In general, in most marriages or relationships, heterosexual relationships, it's women who take the lead about health. So it's a hard conversation to have, but it's something essential. I'm well aware of what you're saying. Early on, when my wife's she's our marketing director, we had a bunch of friends over, prominent people here in Bozeman, Montana. 3-4 couples ranging in age, probably from your age up to our age. And the guys with attitude, when I heard about what I was doing, was like, "Oh, we don't need that. No, there's no need for that here." Yeah, but some of the ladies afterwards took me aside, my wife aside, and said, he's taking testosterone. He's under beta blocker. His blood pressure's out of control. So it's a tough one. It is really tough. But I think it needs. I think the maybe the best way of approaching it is really to tell men this will relieve your anxiety about getting erections. I was approaching more on the mechanical side than on the data side with men. Mm-hmm. And that's how I try to tell people, like I just made that joke about straight versus gay doctors, which is that it's not okay, husband, you don't need this, but you should want this. Don't you're getting old, you're taking this medicine, you like to drink before we make love. This will help you to sustain an erection, last longer, and you'll enjoy it more. I don't technically have ED. And my wife and I make love several times a week. But this device has changed our marriage. I'll give you an example. Well, we live in Montana. It's cold here. When we came up with this soft elastomer comfortable form, would have been like a year ago, February. And my wife, one of the complaints that men have about women is that in the middle of passionate lovemaking, even when they're really into it somehow or other, they'll start talking about some fight they had with their mother, some that went out at work, some went out with their kids, or something to do with redesigning something. And my wife, in the middle of making love, suddenly said, "Oh, I left the garage door open and it's snowing." So ordinarily, I've been married many years. My reaction, the male reaction, would have been, "WTF? You can't hold that thought for 10 minutes. Why are you bringing it up right now?" And being a guy, I get out of bed, I go downstairs. Now there's a garage door open, but a car door is open. I close those two things. Come back upstairs, and she says to me as I'm on the stairs, "Oh, Elliot, you know that tequila that I like? Can you put some on ice with some lime?" Ordinarily, my reaction after many years of marriage would have been another WTF. I'm angry. We're done. This isn't happening. But I come upstairs and she laughs because the second that was a test. She said, because she points down. I have the ring on. About 5 minutes have gone by, but I'm now a man who still has an erection. And a man who still has an erection thinks very differently than a man who's lost their erection. So it's, if I were a woman trying to approach this as a man, I would approach it from that perspective. This is something, that's going to make our lovemaking better for both of us.